Hey, we're going to be building a fire striker today, or at least putting one together. As you can see, we've got a couple different models. A couple are straight from the store that you can buy and use right out of the box. The third is what you guys have in your overnight kit. And with that overnight kit, you're going to need to put something together to make it a little bit more user-friendly. To make this fire striker user-friendly, we're going to use three different pieces. One is going to be the steel, then the fire striker, and roughly a 40-inch segment of paracord. So to get it to the end product to look like this, first undo your cord or take your cord out. You're gonna fit it inside through these two different holes. Don't worry about the different segment here. I'm gonna put both segments in here and get them equal. And then I'll pull the rest of this through. Now I'm gonna leave this loop here and I'm gonna take the two ends and feed it through that loop. At this point, it's gonna take a second and you're gonna wanna snug this up. So you're gonna wanna, I found it's easiest to push from the loop side and then take up the slack. Once there, you can already tell it's going to feel a lot better in the hand. I like to get this loop so that it's situated on the underside, so I have as much striking surface as possible. So I don't like, if you look here, this is the top piece. I don't want that to be on top, so I'm going to adjust this so that I have a little bit more leeway. There you go. You'll end up with, when you're holding this, you're going to hold it with your thumb underneath it, like so, or on the back side, you're gonna support this piece here, you're gonna support it with your pointer finger, so that when you squeeze, you have that striking plate right on top. That's what you want it to look like. From there, you're just adding in the whipping, and so at that point, I have a little bit bigger hand, but this will work for you guys as well. I'll come down and I'm going to take a pinch. I'm gonna pinch off right at the bottom of my pinky. I'm gonna reorient it so that now this is my working end. So you have your working ends here of the rope, and I'll be working down the static line. So at this point, you're gonna take one side and you're going to be doing two loops. One is across the top, like so. And I'm gonna pinch that off. And then this is gonna go the opposite direction. So, and on the underneath side. Like so. Let me do that again for you. So you have two different pieces. One, I'm gonna do the right side, is gonna go across the top and make a loop. Pinch here. Second is going to stay and go underneath. As you notice, those loops are going two different directions. And I'm gonna pinch that off as well. Once I have these two loops, I'm going to take the cords and feed them down through. So the one that's on top, the cord that's on top, it's gonna feed through the bottom loop. And the one that's on bottom is gonna feed up through the one that's on top. Once you're done with that, then you're just going to cinch this down. At which point you can kind of let go and let it relax and see where you're at. I want to make sure that from here to here my hand fits, and so I'm going to come up and check here and see that if I'm pulling this tight, I can actually see that I actually don't need as much of this knot as I'm going to actually move this knot up to my pinky. So I'll readjust this by loosening these and then just kind of bringing up the slack. At this point, just like you've done in the past with paracord bracelets, you're going to start the cobra stitch. And so I always look for the loop, and then from that loop, that's my starting point. Give it a nice tug. There's the loop. That's my starting point. It goes over top. The next goes over under and up through. There's the loop. Starting point goes over the top. The next goes over the top, under and up through. As you get closer, you're going to want to try to fill the gap as much as you can so it's nice and tight. At which point, you're pretty much done. You've created a fire striker. You're going to want to cut these off and solder the ends. And at that point, test it out. You can always tweak this and add more if you want to. That's completely fine. I might end up going back and redoing this a little bit, but that's what you want. You want to be able to squeeze here and create your fire striking surface right along the top so you have a nice solid surface using your hand. All right, so I went back and redid this second time off camera. I guess it would be the third time off camera. And the reason for that is just so I could extend the handle a little bit more and get as much usable material as possible if I were ever in a dire situation and I needed this paracord. So the next step, once you're done with this, because you're doing it at home, you're gonna come in with a pair of shears or a pair of scissors, and you're gonna wanna cut this pretty close. It doesn't have to be great, like perfect, but you wanna cut these things off so they're pretty close. Once you do that, I like to do one at a time, and then I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna kind of push this out of the way, pull this up, and then strike a flame. And when you do that, this is gonna be something you're gonna need your parents' help for. You're gonna wanna keep your paracord away from the flame, so don't put it directly in the flame, and allow it just to melt. And once it's melted, then you're going to come in here and use the lighter to kind of smoosh it into the other paracord, locking it into place. It'll melt it into it so it doesn't come out. You're gonna do that on both sides. As you can see, I got this one pretty dang tight. So I'm gonna come in here. Do not put it into the flame. You wanna be doing this outside if you can, so the fumes you don't consume. And once you're done, I like to use that so I can push it in and it locks it into place, creating a nice professional finish. As you can see with the striker, it's covered in a black paint. For this to work well, you need to remove that black paint. And to do that, you need to use a pair of scissors, a knife, back of something. I'm gonna use the fire striker that it came with. And it's really, you just gotta kind of scratch it away. The reason I'm trying to get all of it off is so you have as much of a fire striking surface as possible. As you can see by the end, there's a stark contrast between the painted underside and the bright metal on top. That bright metal is what you're going to use to start a fire. If you ever use this so much that you wear it down, you can always flip it over and use the other side for a whole nother striking surface. From there, you want to support it in between your thumb and pointer finger. And from there, it's just a quick, easy flick of the wrist to create sparks. I would recommend you doing this outside and underneath parent supervision. It does take force. You don't just slide it across the top. You need to literally push down on the metal and then flick your wrist. What's actually happening is it's scraping this metal off of here, as well as striking some flint that's embedded and causing that metal to combust.